It's going. It's going. It's gone. Another home run for A24.
So where did you appear from? Oklahoma. I've never been anywhere but here.
This is a film that's starring Kristen Stewart, Katy O'Brien, and is directed by Rose Glass. She did Saint Maud. That was her first film. I'd never seen it. But this film revolves around two characters, Lou and Jackie. Lou works at this gym. She is haunted by her past and some things that she's done in her past. But when she meets Jackie, she falls head over heels for Jackie, and Jackie is a bodybuilder.
We're first introduced to Lou, who, like you said, works as a gym manager, where she mostly just sits there reading books and smoking. She says she works out, but we actually never see her work out in the film. But she's just sitting there, and she's mostly very lonely. She lives a very solitary life. She seems to have no friends. She doesn't really interact with anyone. She doesn't interact with her father. She very rarely speaks about her mother. She is just a lonely, lonely person. And I didn't think the movie would ever really explain why she's reserved. I thought that would just be her personality trait. But we learned later that she is a member of a crime family. and she is not very proud about this. She's not happy about it. She's not comfortable with it. And she has pushed herself away from her father and all her father's businesses, except she works at her father's gym. And then in walks, very literally off the street, Jackie. Jackie is a vagrant. She is moving from town to town, slowly but surely working her way towards Vegas, where she wants to compete in like a bodybuilding contest. But now she's stopped over in New Mexico. She wants to work out at the gym, and hey, she goes to Lou's gym. And Lou is like, damn, she is fine. Like she is obsessed the first time she sees her. They like latch onto each other. When I finally realized this movie was a movie about love and what love will make you do, what people do in the name of love, I was like, oh, the whole film comes together like so beautifully. While I've already said that she's a member of the crime family, the film holds on to that information for a very, very long time.
It holds on to it like for a long time, but the movie doesn't hold your hand and tell you every single thing like every other movie that's out there. It doesn't. Like at the beginning of the film, you see like a red area that's like these rocks, and you see nothing but dark space in the beginning. That's like the intro cut. Later on in the film, you realize that those red areas was actually a canyon, like inside of a canyon, and you're like, oh, the camera's telling a part of the story that you're gonna see later in this, and how that connects to her father. Right. And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, the movie likes to bathe our characters in red, usually when murder is happening or they're talking about murder. And the movie does this in like a really creative way. There's this really cool scene later in the film where Ed Harris and Kristen Stewart's character, whose name is Lou, they are in a hospital and they're chit-chatting next to a Coke machine. And the red glow from the Coke machine is like bathing Ed Harris's face while he says the most horrific, menacing stuff. And it's like, whoa, that's really clever. And it's interesting. You mentioned Saint Maud, which is also another A24 film made by Rose Glass. It's a horror film, and it got some acclaim, but for me, I did not like that film at all. The movie didn't come together until almost the last scene. In this film, Rose Glass wisely removes the missing piece that we need to understand the film much earlier. So the whole film kind of comes together at about the halfway mark when the blood starts to spill. I don't know about you, Tyrone, but for me, it's hard to really talk about this film without dipping into some spoilers. So
definitely gonna have to do to put that spoiler warning right there. Put it down there.
So moving forward, I'm gonna touch on some spoilers. Nothing major, but if you want to have all the surprises be revealed to you in the film, come back later. Once the blood starts to spill and our characters react in a much more subdued way than I was expecting, you're like, oh, are both of our characters complete psychopaths?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh,
it's it's so crazy because it's like, are they complete psychopaths? Because it's like, have they done this before?
Yeah.
You know?
There's a scene where one person gets killed in front of Kristen Stewart and the blood is all over her face. And she's less concerned about the body and more concerned about, like, she seemed more offended that the blood got on her. She was like, you know, so
On me this time. What?
I was like, whoa, bizarre reaction. I think those like small things, I think show what a fantastic actor Kristen Stewart is. It's kind of funny that Twilight got so much hate when Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart are literally two of the finest actors working today. And you know who else is a really good actor? Is Katy O'Brien. So Katy O'Brien plays Jackie, and people probably recognize her from, you know, her very viral appearances from Marvel films and Star Wars
Mandalorian,
films. Yep. And she mostly plays like supporting roles, and like I was like, is she just pretty or is she like a good actress? This is the first time I've actually seen her in like a lead role. Fantastic. I thought she killed it too. Them working together is like electric.
When Lou meets Jackie, like we all said that she's infatuated with her, right? And she went to go get her drug enhancements, you know, like steroids and stuff. And then she trusts a stranger to inject her with a dirty needle. I think that they were kind of say that this medicine or this enhancement unlocks something that's in her that's already been in her, like a killer. You know,
that's interesting. I actually kind of thought that was a red herring. The reason why it's like unclean or the needles are unclean and stuff, this movie takes place in 1989. So like a lot of that stuff, you know, people weren't as strict about that kind of stuff as they are now. She gets the steroids and then she starts like hallucinating. And I'm like, do steroids make you hallucinate? I've never heard that before. Her hallucinations get worse and worse and worse as she uses more and more steroids. But it's hinted that it's not the steroids that's making her hallucinate. I think she's just mentally ill. I think she would.
Yes.
I think she would hallucinate either way. I think those times when she's hallucinating are the times when we see the world from her eyes, and it is weird. It is bizarre. Jackie is like a giant. And she is so like powerful, like she's huge, and she's like looming over people and like walking through the clouds. You know, so this movie gets weird. Sometimes it gets weird just to be weird, like, which frankly I like. I think that's kind of fun. So again, I think the images that she saw were her mental instability.
When the shit hits the fan, a lot of that has to revolve around Dave Franco's character. He plays Lou's brother-in-law. Her sister is going through domestic abuse, and you know, he is a douchebag.
He's got a nasty mullet.
I mean, bro. But
see, I feel like the movie was trying to say that, and this is going to sound odd, I don't think the movie's trying to be apologetic towards his domestic abuse, but I think the movie's trying to say that there's like a thin line between like love and insanity, right? Like true violent insanity, right? And it's much thinner than most people would like to acknowledge, because the movie initially portrays the domestic abuse as something just unbelievably horrible, shocking. You know, you're like, what?
Yeah, as soon as you see it.
Until our main characters start participating with one another. Jackie literally headbutts Lou at one point. She's like, boom, you know, like it gets, they get violent with one another. And they did the same thing with Ed Harris. I was confident that Ed Harris had murder on his mind, right? And he was like, get in the car. I'm trying to help you. And I was like, girl, get out that car, run, you know? But strangely, he actually was trying to help in his own way. You know what I mean? And he'd only do that if he actually genuinely loved Lou. So these people are committing all kinds of crimes and murders and lies in the name of love. And I think that's really fascinating.
And then, you know, Lou's sister is like the caricature of what women go through a domestic violence. Like, oh, he didn't mean it. Like, do you see the left side of your face? And then her sister says something very, very important. And she's like, you know nothing of love.
Right. She is actually, in a bizarre way, telling her truth. She's like, you really don't understand love. Like, bizarrely, she really was in love with Dave Franco. And I think Dave Franco actually was in love with his wife. But they crossed over a line that should never be crossed over in their relationship. And it's a line that once it's crossed, it can't be like reversed. You know what I mean?
No.
And when our two main characters, Jackie and Lou, crossed that same line, I felt myself as an audience member being like, well, you know, she was on drugs at the time, and you know, I could feel myself making excuses, and I was like, oh, you know, so I think that's what the movie was trying to do. It was it wasn't trying to be apologetic towards this behavior. It was trying to say like, there is a line. We all know where that line is, and you are much closer to that murderous line than I think any of us are comfortable with thinking about. I think that line between love and murder was really well exemplified in one of the weirdest moments in the film. There's a moment in the film where Ed Harris is talking on the phone. He hangs up and he's angry and he breaks his bug terrarium because he likes to collect bugs. So he's known as the Bug Man. He grabs this big beetle and just eats it. You're like, what? So it's really gross.
What did your theater do? What did your theater do?
Yeah, they all were disgusted.
We were like,
yeah. But again, I think that it's that line between like caring for and nurturing these animals and like literally like tearing them apart with your mouth.
It ain't what Timon and Pumbaa said.
Slimy, it's satisfying.
That's it.
It ain't that.
Tastes like chicken.
So man, this film was delightful for me to see. I think A24, man, is a studio that just wants to just try things.
They bring like creativity and a story to the table, which in this current environment bizarrely feels fresh. This film, I think, was very, very good. And I think it shows growth with our director. There are scenes in Saint Maud that I enjoyed. I did not like the movie. This one literally addressed every single issue I had with Saint Maud. The pacing, the weird way the store was organized and withheld information. It addresses all of them. And this is a much better structured film, and it's much more entertaining. Both films are interested in psychosis and psychotic people and how their reality is so much different from everyone else's. At the end of Love Lies Bleeding, we see both of our characters' reality, where they're these big giants running through the clouds and all that stuff. And it's so different from the world around them. When they're running through the clouds, by the way, they literally just finished killing someone. Like there's literally a body in the back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like this film. I like how Rose Glass she seems to be sticking with a theme of mental illness, and her skill seems to be evolving. These are all signs of a good director, man.
It really is. You know,
that's exciting to see.
You know, I really did enjoy this film. Devin, it sounded like you enjoyed this film too. But more importantly, what did you think? Let us know in the comments what you thought of Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We really do appreciate you guys. Right there at the bottom, there is a subscribe button. You can press it right now if it's the first time you seeing us, okay? Come along for the ride. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers and we need your help. And if you did like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can hit the thumbs down, whichever you choose. It is your opinion. But just remember one thing, it's mostly wrong. I'm gonna go pump some iron in the name of love.